What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. You know, I do a lot of how-tos, DIYs, little skits. This video is just, I'm doing this video because it just bothers me so much. The crime in Chicago, or the crime that's in the rest of the United States, is out of control. And then I seen this video. This happened about, I would venture to say, a 15-minute car ride from my house. And so if you're easily disturbed, don't watch the video. You can't see anything too graphic, but to me it still is disturbing. You know, everything goes viral on the app that starts with the T and ends with the K. So this was on there, and I seen it, and it's the brazenness of what's happening in Chicago right now. Chicago does have a lot of gun laws and gun licenses, and Illinois is trying to ban assault rifles now, where within 3 years you have to register your assault rifle. But my big problem with this, Chicago does not hold criminals accountable for their actions. It is not the licensed conceal and carry people that you're having the problems with. It's like these people in this video right here, that they don't care. There is blatant disregard for human life. So you have this guy with this machine gun. I mean, look, in Chicago, it's illegal to have over 10 bullets in a magazine. Both of them have fully automatic weapons, and they light up the whole front of the car. The door is open, and they are standing there with fully automatic weapons shooting the car up. Okay, now back before COVID, they had where Chicago passed this no bond, no bail, and it sounds good because you think you're going to hold them in jail, but no, that means they can't hold them, and they got to re-release them to the street so they can stay on the street until their trial, which now they're finding out before the trial they're arresting them multiple times for crimes but re-releasing it. Now they're saying, well, we're going to leave that on the judge. Why? Especially for these the brazenness. This is every day in Chicago. This video you're watching is every single day in Chicago. This is what happens when people say, well, I want to visit Chicago. Why? Let them take... Chicago's a beautiful city if they could control the crime in Chicago. I was visiting somewhere today, and they have what's called the Citizen app, and the Citizen app says at the corner of where I was at, 5 guys armed were robbing the store. You know, I'm sure they didn't have their conceal and carry license. It's being raised with morals, being raised with dignity, and there's too much people that are getting away with these gun crimes, and they're saying, well, they're blaming the other states. Well, it's this person's state, it's that person's state. They're allowing them to sell the guns right here. No, it's you're not holding the criminals accountable for an unlicensed gun, for not having a gun license and having a gun. That's the problem. Indiana, we're on the state line. Indiana is having such a problem right now with crime of Illinoisans going into Indiana, Chicagoans going into Indiana, causing havoc, robbing the stores, robbing the people, carjacking them, and then they don't stop for the police. The police with their sirens and everything, the people make it to the state line, they make it to the toll road, they make it to the expressway. They don't care if they crash into you, they don't care if they hit you, they don't care if they kill you. They do all this to get away, to flee from the police across the state line. You know, I wish Indiana state line would put their county sheriffs right there. Indiana's county sheriff says, if you commit a crime, we will chase you and we will catch you. Chicago says, if you commit a crime, just give them what they want, give them what they're asking for. We can't chase them on foot, we can't chase them in the car. If it's under $1,000 they stole, it's not considered a crime. I mean, this really has to change. This really has to change. Okay, we do know that prisons are overcrowded. Prisons are overcrowded. When COVID happened, they said, well, we can't put nobody in jail because COVID's rampant in jail, so we're risking their health. They risked their own health knowing there was COVID in jail and still committed the crime, if that makes any sense, okay? So now there's, you know, overcrowdedness in jail. Everybody knows there's overcrowdedness in jail. So, for one, why do prisoners get to have cell phones? Why are there prisoners that are, I mean, they have trillions of subscribers all over the U.S. from prison with their cell phones, okay? So that's bothers me for one. Okay, El Chapo, the big guys, they get individual cells and they're 23 hours a day. Well, the other guys, they're out, they're walking around, they're doing drugs, they're talking on the cell phones. There was just a TikTok video that showed a big guy get put on the cell block, and he went around and robbed other people's cells. So he was in jail for doing something, then he was in the prison system, he was able to go around and rob people. So clearly he didn't care for his actions or what he was doing. So at that point, you have to make it, the sheriff in Arizona or New Mexico was having the problem. They said, well, that's inhumane. But when they interviewed his prisoners, they said, you don't got to worry about me here anymore, because when I get out of here, I'm moving to another state because I never want to come back to this prison. Okay? Hear that. I don't want to come back to this prison, so I'm going to another state. So they're doing all the crimes and robberies in another state because they know they're going to have a no bond, no bail, where we don't have to go to jail, we don't have to stay in jail, or we got all this free time on our hands. Well, if there's 2 people per cell right now and they're overcrowded, start with the armed felon, the armed robbers and murderers, put 3 in a cell, put 4 in a cell. Why do they need electricity? Keep the lights off in the prison. The more you make it where there's no problem if I go to jail, we got the gangs, we got all this hookups in here, we get guns, we get drugs, we get phones, we get all this. The more stuff like this video is going to keep happening. You have to, these guys right here should be in jail for life. In jail for life. Blatant disregard. As the other guy's running away, they are shooting machine guns at him. This isn't a third world country. This is Chicago where this is happening. This is Chicago. On daily occasions, people are getting shot at. A conceal and carry holder can hold a 10 capacity magazine. Now this was a couple weeks ago. One guy shot up a stolen vehicle that had 14s in it. 14s plus multiple weapons in the car. They don't know who the guy is. They don't know who shot it up or whatever, but he shot up the stolen car with 14s that was filled with weapons. I'm hoping it was a vigilante. I really am hoping it was a vigilante that did that, because if they were in a stolen car with all those weapons, I guarantee you they're the ones that are jumping out, robbing and carjacking and shooting people, because sometimes the people are giving all their stuff and they're still getting shot here in Chicago. So the mayoral elections are coming up, the Chicago elections are coming up, the presidential election is going to be coming up. Chicago is not the only state that's dealing with this. This is going all over the United States, and we need to start voting for the people that are going to hold the criminals accountable. All right, sorry to ramble on. I could go on for ages and ages. Oh, one last thing in Chicago. There was a 9-year-old kid that was shot in a house. 9-year-old, multiple families lived with him in this house. Multiple families, adults and children. The 9-year-old was shot 3 times within the house. No family member, adult or child, cooperated with police, and they hid the gun for the 9-year-old, that family member that was killed within that house. All those parents or all those adults in that house should go to jail. Either way, just my thoughts. I don't know. Some people might like it, some people might hate it, but when this is on your doorstep, when this is coming to your doorstep, you're going to want something to be done. So do not allow your city, state, town, or whatever for this to happen to. You have to start nipping it in the bud now before this spreads like wildfire to many other places. All right? Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Bye-bye.